And good afternoon, everybody. How are we this afternoon? It's another beautiful day in the state of North Carolina. Still a little colder than I like this quickly in the year, but it's a nice day overall. And good afternoon, everybody. Oops. How are we this afternoon? Sorry about that. A little. Forgot to turn the speakers off on my computer, so there we go. So hopefully that is now taken care of, and you won't hear me twice. So really just wanted to jump in. I want to do a quick arena stream. I do have a stream planned for later on tonight. I am going to be taking care of the rest of this incursion run. I am at the end of Sector 13. I do have some pretty decent hacks all built up with Perpetual Offense, Martial Artist, Buff Cornucopia, and Toxic Advance, so we're ready there. And then we've got the main ones there, the debuff upgrade stun and special refund plus unflinching power. So Hercules is about as built up as I can get him. Hopefully we'll make a fairly quick, I want to say revivalist run, but I know it won't be. Hopefully just a fairly quick, inexpensive run to get through zone 25. And then we'll be done. And with that, there will be a crystal opening at the end of it. I will have enough shards, I'm almost there now, to open another Incursions 7-star crystal. So, oops, I guess I've got to go to the store first. So, out of there, I'm probably looking for Angela. I would say Angela, a dupe on Hulkbuster, or believe it or not, maybe Ronin. I'm one of the few. I want to learn to play Ronin. I think he's got some potential. I've seen some decent things out of him. The other ones that are in there, Cap, Mojo, and Namor, I know for sure they need their awakened abilities and they need high sig. I don't know how quickly that would take place. After I get this one, it's going to be, my guess is 2 months before I can open another one. I should finish this run roughly about 450, which will leave me about 50,000 incursion shards, left, or incursion fragments, whatever they're called. So I don't think I'll be able to get one next month, but I'd then be able to get one the following month. Assuming they don't change it, that would be the first opportunity I would have to awaken any of the champions that I get from it. So really looking for, and I know Angela, for all her, for the most part, doesn't need the awakening for damage. For, the rest of her kit to be able to shrug off debuffs and things like that, yes, she needs to be awakened and she needs to be high sig. But really for, just the damage portion of it, out of the box, she's going to have all of that. So, and I also have an R4 Sig 200 Angela if I need it to be able to shrug off debuffs or something like that. I just think maybe for, future incursion runs, something like that, the unawakened is going to be sufficient. I also want to complete it before 8.3 tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of 8.3 streams coming along fairly soon. So, we've got that we're going to take care of. Let's go ahead and look there. But in the meantime, I have about an hour and 15 minutes that I wanted to go ahead and get some stuff taken care of. And like always on my afternoon streams, you may hear some window sounds. That is my computer. So let's go ahead and I'm going to jump in here. Let's finish off we're going to go ahead and finish off the featured arena. We'll go ahead and get up to 12. I'm probably going to may just run my 7 stars and see where that puts us. I don't think I'll have to run much more beyond the 7-star mark for this arena. I have changed my screen layouts around a little bit, so there's my chat. So if anybody does join, I now have the chat up in front of me and ready to go. Don't see any other changes. Like I said, this Saturday I leave very early in the morning. So I don't know how much I'll get done on Friday. I'll probably be streaming in the afternoon. There won't be an evening stream that night. And, I've got to be at the airport, I think, at like 3:30 in the morning. And then if I haven't finished 8.3, there will be probably a finishing stream from my hotel once I get to California. And then after we're done with 8.3, battlegrounds, battlegrounds, and more battlegrounds. With the increased rewards, I'm going to have to spend more time in there. They added a few more milestones to the end. They added more 7-star shards. They added some 7-star Titan crystal shards. Don't really expect to see those myself, but I am going to be pushing to make sure that I've hit, probably 500,000 in the solo event, if not a little bit more than that. I do have quite a stock of Elder's Marks that I saved up, which I'm glad I did now. I'll be getting more, and I don't know if I'll be using energy at all next season. Typically I would go 50-50 split, between marks and energy. I think next season, at least until I'm to 500, even if I'm, not doing well, I will probably stick with Elder Marks just to get the points. I'm not expecting to finish, Celestial 5 or up there near the top. Oops, forgot about his auto block. So, doing what I can there. The other thing I wanted to put out there for the channel and anybody listening is if I can get to 100 subscribers, I'm at 88, before they release the bundles for Morbius, I will buy at least one of the bundles to try to awaken them. Typically, I've said in the past, I don't do Paragon crystals. I don't buy them. I don't do RNG. But just as a little celebration of the support, I will do that for those crystals. So if it is, something you're interested in seeing, please just, you can subscribe just for a little bit. And then after the crystal opening, you can always unsubscribe. Trying to make this as interactive and as pain-free as possible. Trying to put out some different videos, ones that I know, everybody likes, the crystal openings, the rank ups, things like that. Trying to do a few live streams here and there as I can, with some interesting content. And I know Arena's not interesting content. It is just my way of getting some practice in doing streams while I do something I'm going to do anyway in game, which is sitting here right now for the next hour and grinding out, these milestones in Arena so that they are done before 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, when 8.3 should drop. Before 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, when 8.3 should drop. So, really just like I said, grinding the milestones, making sure that I'm ready for it. I do have to run through, I think I have to run through the Apothecary yet. I don't think I've run through this one. Just to make sure that I've got everything that I can going into 8.3 and that we're as prepared as we're going to get. And I'm really close. I've got a lot of revives. The only thing I'm lacking right now for 8.3 is probably potions. And I started thinking about doing the kind of the ROL runs last night and just, really don't want to do it. So for potions, I may just open my, 4-hour crystals. I've got 650, 700 of them, something like that. I should be able to pull plenty of heals out of there if I need them. So, not going to do anything there. And yeah, I think I'm pretty ready. Like I said, just kind of looking forward to that. There'll be a crystal opening probably after that. I'm not sure. I'll have to look and see what I'll have. I don't know if I'll get enough for another 7-star. Doubt I'll get enough for another Titan crystal. I've got the Incursion run tonight, and there'll be a crystal opening there. Just really, trying to get the content out there and trying to do some different things for, that are fun for you guys to watch and join in on. For certain milestones, I'm thinking, at the kind of the first milestone that I'll hit, which is the 100 subscriber mark, I will do, like I said, a small Paragon opening, trying to get Morbius if we get it done in time. Even if we don't get it for the kind of the pre-release, quote unquote, bundle for Morbius, I will probably open some when they come in the store, or for units. Once we hit 100, then the next one that I'll be working for is something for 500. Not sure exactly what it'll be. Right now, I'm leaning towards kind of a crystal opening / giveaway and I would love to kind of get there by the the holidays coming up, so that I can provide what I was thinking was maybe a gift card drawing for, I don't know exactly how I'll do it, but I'll kind of figure out a way that maybe I can do a gift card drawing or something like that I can send a iTunes or Google Play gift certificate, gift card to the winner in time for them to be able to use it for, the Cyber Monday or holiday deals. Hey, Highline, how you doing? So going to try and do that. Once we get closer to 500, I'll start putting that information out there. Kind of really got to think through it. Still have a ways to go and not sure I can get there that quickly. But, want to pay everybody back, want to make sure that the channel's, kind of interactive, that I'm doing things that you want to see. And I know tomorrow and for the next week or so, there's going to be a lot of people out there streaming 8.3. I'm going to try, and do it hours when maybe there's no one else streaming, but I do want to get it out there early enough. So, my roster isn't as big as some that you'll see out there streaming. I've got different favorite champs. So want to do a lot of it so that people have some variety in champs of who people use, so that they can see how maybe I approach the paths versus a Legacy or a MSD or a Nick 136 who are better players than me. I may have a different style. I may come up with different options to kind of get through things, than they will. I know Nick just got done streaming. He said he's going to do 8.3 100% tomorrow. I won't be doing that. Let's see. So, doing well. Just one shot of Kindred boss. Hey, congrats. That, anytime you say one shot on a boss, it is doing your job. So that's awesome. That Kindred's not an easy fight. It's more technical. I kind of know how to fight him. I haven't had to face him yet in war. That's kind of when I learned how to definitely fight champions. But, that's still a very, very good fight. Very good job, man. Kindred's not an easy fight. We just wrapped up our war. So I think I've got to go look. We won. We should be back up into the Masters bracket, which this year Masters is a lot different than it's ever been. That's all I can say. It's kind of weird that there's some alliances up there that I'm not sure how they're up there. It doesn't appear to be scoring issues. I think they've maybe expanded tier 1, and maybe I just missed an announcement, but it is definitely a lot more competitive than normal. And the problem is some of those alliances we don't know. Looking at the alliance leaderboards and all that, they've got a lot more deaths than we've got. They get average more deaths per war than anybody in the top 20. So I'm not sure how they're sneaking in up there, but not my call. All we can do and all we can control is who we fight and how we do in those fights. This last war was awesome. I think we had 2 deaths overall. One of those was a timeout, so kind of won't say who it was, but unfortunately it killed a streak for the person that it was, I believe. So it's a bad way to kind of have a death and lose a streak in war. RBG that I'm in has had 2 donuts in a row. Yeah, the attack tactic, as long as you have a decent knowledge of how to play the champion and all that, does make the fights a little bit easier. I will say that. I've enjoyed. I'm not a great Cassie player. I've enjoyed being able to bring her into a few fights. And learn her more. That is something that I think has been one of the highlights of the season. The other thing is I'm getting to bring some champs that I typically haven't been able to bring before. So that's good. I've loved. He's not tactic, but I've loved being able to use OG Iron Man in war. Just being able to use one of the OG champions like that in war is really, really fun. Somebody that, at least for me, I started, let's see, when did I start playing? It was probably back with the fun around Release 12, when all the crap was going down with Scarlet Witch and, all of that stuff. So, 12.0 patch. So it's been a while, got into it, was playing it casually, wasn't really sure how to play. And then I found, Brian Grant's channel. He started streaming, and, what I found was, I enjoyed watching him, learning from him, and I started understanding the game more and being able to do it. And it's just kind of been that way ever since. I've not ever obtained his level of gameplay, but, it's fun. I've gone back to a couple of my, well, good. I'm glad. I'm not the greatest at him, but he is, speaking of forgiving champs, he is one of them. Oh, come on. There we go. He is very, very forgiving. Hey, Legend, how's it going? Especially in war with Iron Man, I don't parry the special attacks. I don't want to risk it. That's really the only way that he's going to die, is something that I mess up. And I'm going to mess up the timing on it if I try to parry. I think I did it the first war that I took him with an APOC, because I practiced it and had the timing of the his orbs that he shoots out down. Got into the fight, and very first one hit me. And I was like, nope, not doing it from there on. I'll just take the blocks. He doesn't need the extra charges on his arc reactor. The standard 100 that he gets is more than sufficient for finishing off most fights. So I think the only time he would possibly need that is in some type of questing situation where, they've got 500,000 health. 250 to 300,000 is very, very doable with just the base overload charges. Does my game ever lag and cause? Yes and no. In arena and questing and all that, yes, from time to time it does. For Alliance War, typically not. Before I take my Alliance War fights, I restart my phone. I don't have any apps running in the background. It used to be a big issue many, many patches ago, back when they had the overheating issues with iPhones, where they would turn into, a small microwave oven in your hands. And ever since then, I just completely restart everything so that I'm coming in and, not going to have any issues. The only thing I do when I get back into the game is I will, pull down my menu, throw on Do Not Disturb, throw on Record, and then I go into my fights, put on my 3-minute boosts, and go from there. So typically war I won't, but, it does happen in other areas. I've had, on stream, I've had, AQ fights that I'll go to try and load in and it crashes out. That happens from time to time. So, and, the other thing with mine is I'm typically running one of the later model iPhones. I'm running a 14 Pro Max right now. Haven't upgraded to the 15 yet. Not sure if I will. I'm hoping that they do something with the back panel on that, just to secure it a little bit more. I'm a little bit rougher on phones than some because of a lot of travel and all that. So, I'm not sure what I'll do there. Are there a bunch of 4 Lokiers headed to Vancouver? Yes, there are. There are 10 at least. A lot of them are staying in a Airbnb, a house that they've rented out. There's others that will be coming in and out. You've got, of course, Legacy and Andy will be in the brawl. Karate Mike is, and I don't know if this is a big secret or not, but he's going to be the MC of it. That's why he didn't push. And then, a lot of the others are just going for support. I was going to be there. Almost bought my ticket, and then the project that I've got for work coming up this weekend got pushed back. It was originally supposed to be this past weekend, but it got pushed out. So unfortunately, I can't go, which I'm really bummed about. I was looking forward to it. So I'll have to make the next one. But there's going to be a bunch there. There's going to be a bunch from every alliance there. I think it's going to be a good time. Let's see, Legend. I am thinking of buying a new phone because it's been happening every now and then. Also, I feel like I need to change since it's been year. Well, yeah, I am fortunate that I can swap my phones out fairly quick. I used to work for Sprint. I still have a few people that I know, and I also worked for Verizon for a while. So, I tend to change phones fairly often and kind of rotate through them. On my plan there, I've got my wife and let's see, how many people are on my plan? My wife, my daughter and her son, my son and his wife. So that's what, 6. The other son and his wife. So that's 8. I think there's 9 lines in my plan. So there's always an upgrade that I can do. And I use the upgrades when I want them. That's the rule. I pay for the cell phones. They can, deal with an older phone, and I'll hand my phone down to my wife, so she still has a recent model, and we do a lot of that. Always an upgrade that I can do, and I use the upgrades when I want them. That's the rule. I pay for the cell phone. And I think for this game, it does help. I know BG still streams with I think an iPhone 8. I'm very surprised that it runs it. I do have, I had an older iPad. I think it was an Air. What was it? An Air, or I don't know. It was like it's at this point I think it was a 2018 model, and it struggles from time to time. It seems slow. I get more lag on it than I do anything. Just upgraded to a new iPad Pro. Yeah, Highline. I date back in the workplace too, where I actually worked for Sprint before, and it was actually. I worked for the local side of it. It was when they actually had landline telephones, which hardly anybody knows what those are. So that was where I worked. I worked on fiber optic lines for Sprint back in the early 2000s, and then so I still had a lot of the discounts and things on my account there, since my retirement plan and all that resided with them. They kind of gave those benefits as part of that package. And then I was with Embark, and then CenturyLink, and it's now Lumen. And then I went from Sprint to Verizon and worked there for a few years. So, it's nice to have friends in the cell phone game. And right now, I'm using T-Mobile just because it's switched, but I can still pull discounts on phones if I buy them from some of the folks that I know that work in the stores. It's nice to have friends in the cell phone game. And right now, I'm using T-Mobile just because. And I'm kind of a techie. I like having, my computer's older now, which is really surprising to me. I used to be one of those guys that as soon as, they announced a new graphics card or a new processor, I'd be all over it and upgrade and just have the latest and greatest. But now that I do, all the games that I play and stuff like that are in my hand. I don't play really any PC games anymore. Still play World of Warcraft from time to time. I'm an old school WoW player. I knew one of the original designers. He was an Alliance mate of mine in EverQuest back many, many years ago. So I still dabble in that a little bit, not as much as I used to anymore. And, I'm looking at possibly streaming some other games and all that, at some point in time. Probably be mobile based though. I like, with the travel that I've got, I like that I found out how to stream, and that's kind of what held me back from starting streams a long time is, I finally found a good way to do streams from my phone while I'm traveling, so I can kind of keep a constant and everyday stream schedule. It used to be hard. I travel probably every other week for work, so it just kind of was not ever anything that I could get into a standard routine and didn't want to be sporadic and hit or miss with streams. And everyday stream schedule. It used to be hard. I travel probably every other week for work. I need to do her Spider-Gwen's focus. Standard routine and didn't want to be sporadic and hit or miss with streams. So, kind of looking forward to completing that Incursions run tonight. I was really, really happy when I got the hacks that I did. The only one that I debated on, they were really, they came up in that order that I put out there. Was I had the choice. Typically, I like the keep it going hack. I almost chose it over Buff Cornucopia. That was the decision, because the most successful run that I've ever done in Incursions, the 4 hacks were Martial Artist, Perpetual Offense, Keep It Going, and Toxic Advance. Oops, I thought I killed her there. So, I almost repeated that again. But as long as you have Martial Artist, the debuff upgrade stun, the special refund, and unflinching power, I think is what it's called. As long as you have those for an Incursions run, you are in pretty darn good shape. That is typically what you need for a good run, because then you can just go in and let them hit you in the face, get invulnerable with Hercules. The unflinching power means you're gaining power quicker. The debuff upgrade stun means when you toss your special 2, they're stunned longer. And then the special refund means your special 2 doesn't take as much power to throw out there. So really the only nodes that I kind of have to look out for are ones that are Fate Seal or what's the one where you kind of start off and there's no buffs or debuffs. I can't remember what the name of it is right off the top of my head. But those are really the only ones that you kind of have to look out for. Those are the only ones that can cause a fairly quick death. So what's the one where you kind of start off and there's no buffs or debuffs? The run, I do have one death because it was to a Modoc, and I missed that it had, whoever had the least amount of power got Fate Sealed. And, I kind of did hey, just let him hit me in the face so I can build to a special 2 quick. Was fine until I threw the special 2. And then, lost my invulnerability pretty quick. So, if I can do a Sector 6 run with only 1 revive, which is where I'm at right now, I'll probably need another 2 or 3. I'm going to run across a fight that just is going to almost roadblock me, I'm sure. Things went too well last night. I almost kept going off stream. Did want to stream it, though, and my wife wasn't feeling good, so she was having none of me sitting in my office, not paying attention to her, not helping her out. So things went too well last night. I almost kept going off stream. Did want to stream it, though, and my wife wasn't feeling good. Heck with it, I'm going to throw the special 2. None of me sitting in my office. And there we go. That was a war fight that I just got done doing. Okay, let's go ahead and throw him on the team. Then we can do our 2 ladies teams, and then we'll be done with this arena, and we'll jump over to the basic and run a few teams there. I don't think I can finish that one yet. I'll get to about 3.5 million in the basics. I've only run kind of my 5-star champions through there one time. Whoops, I forgot about this glide again. Man. One day I will learn that he gets that glide. Just back off now. Thank you. There we go. Kind of my 5-star champions through there one time. Whoops, I forgot about this glide again. Hey, I didn't even realize I had my favorite counter for Bishop. Really kind of interested in the Red Skull buff as well, if you've seen anything on that. That one looks like it's going to be pretty good for him. Being able to control the power that well. The fact that, he can't have his ability accuracy reduced. I didn't look to see if he got any new resistances, or immunities at all. Kind of got to go look at that. And also kind of excited. I finally got Scorpion up to R4 on my second account and used him in war, and it was so much fun. I don't get to use my Scorpion in wars very often, but it was kind of fun. I ran through this morning unboosted, took out 4 minis. Not the highest rank ones in the world, but my mini alliance is, I think, gold 3, maybe, something like that. And it was just kind of fun to be able to run through and run over champs like that.
Not the highest rank ones in the world, but my mini alliance is gold.
At some point, I will be on stream with that account. I do need to. There we go. Sorry, I was hoping that he was going to throw a special. I do need to finish off 100%ing Act 7 and 8. I've just really kind of made the initial run through on those. Let's see. There you go. I was hoping I had just enough time for that. I guess not. Could be a slow fight. Or not if I keep getting hit in the face. All right, now throw your special. Then I'll throw mine. And we'll try this here.
Or not if I keep getting hit in the face.
Now you can just throw a special before you heal up all that I did and before you go unblockable. We'll throw this out there. And finally, wow. He's a pain in the butt to fight when you don't really have a good champ for him. Probably could have gone Kate against him and used Cassie somewhere else, but... So I'm really really interested in tomorrow being able to go through and start 8.3. Battlegrounds are back, so it's going to be a lot to do. We've got the Brawl coming up this weekend. So lots to do in the game finally again. And I said it in the stream yesterday. I am my own worst enemy when it comes to that was different. When it comes to content, I get it done quick, but then I complain at the end of it that there's nothing to do. So, no one else to blame in that other than me. And there we go. So we are now done with that arena. I'm going to stop at an even 50. Let's jump over here. Yeah, my upper 5s are all back. Just had a chance for the first time to run the upper ones, about an hour ago. Yeah, we'll just go this way. Haven't seen much on Viv's buff. I know Nick136 put a video out there, I think last night, maybe this morning. Oops. Forget about her. Unstoppable, unblockable. And just going to get drilled against the wall for a while. I am not a Quake player, by the way. If you ever have any questions or any doubts, I am not a Quake player. That is not my forte. I am not good when my back is up against a wall.
I am not a Quake player, by the way. If you ever have any questions.
So, whoops. I did put out on the channel, you should see from this past war, that war video is out there. Stop by, give it a look, give it a like, subscribe. Like I said, I'm kind of on the hunt for subscribers now. I want to do some things on my channel, and reward, people. Right now, I think the reward will be just a crystal opening. If somebody, if we get to 100 subscriptions between now and when they release the Morbius pre-release bundles, I will buy some of those. If not, it may have to wait until we get the Morbius crystals. Do want to kind of go for those. Oops. At least try to awaken them maybe. I don't expect I'll do it. I expect you'll see me to open 5 4-stars or 10 4-stars, depending on how many I buy. But I don't do a lot of Paragon crystals anyway. So occasionally I'll do them. But, I'm going to try and celebrate the milestones with all of you. I'm very close to 100 subscribers, which it's, I've actually gotten more subscribers than I thought I was going to. Even at just 88, that's kind of more than what I was expecting all along. Doing this more for fun. And like I said, I'm going to be grinding arena anyway. I might as well, if there's not anybody live streaming when I do it, I might as well jump in and start a stream and see if anybody wants to join. Keep them company while they're grinding or while they're working or doing something like that. I don't ever expect to be the sole center of attention on anybody's mind. I expect people to come and go as they need to. I'm just here to be a resource and give somebody something to do or some noise in the background. I don't ever expect to be the sole center of attention on anybody's mind. I expect people to come and go as they need to. But at the same time, I do want to put entertaining stuff out there. Haven't quite figured out what that's going to be yet. But we'll figure it out as we go. I may try to do a kind of a guide video for 8.3 as I go through it. My plan going through it is all of 3.1, then all of 3.2, 3, and so on. I'm going to 100% each chapter before moving on to the next. So I'll have, after the first day, at least all the bosses, and kind of be able to put a video out there showing how the nodes work and all that. It's not going to be excellent gameplay. Don't expect that. Don't expect, a lot of one-shots or, itemless runs, things like that. I am, for lack of a better way of putting it, I'm a realistic player. Not going to do those things very often. That said, I was able to go through the 7-for-7 trial fairly item free until one fight in 7.4.5 and one fight in or a couple fights in 7.4.6. And the Spider Gwen, whatever the boss that is in 7.2.6, whatever spider one that is. I couldn't remember the fight going into it. I couldn't remember each of the phases, so I did use a couple revives there as well, but it still wasn't too bad. Yeah, so as long as I've got the champs for it ranked up, it shouldn't be too bad of a run. And I know they've shortened it, so I'm hoping it goes a little bit quicker too. At the same time, I hope it takes a little bit of time. I kind of go both ways on that. As long as I've got the champs for it ranked up, it shouldn't be too bad of a run. And I know they've shortened it, so I'm hoping it goes a little bit quicker. Let's go that way. At the same time, I hope it takes a little bit of time. I kind of go both ways on that. Other than that, I think as far as, in-game stuff, the 6-star crystals, I'm going to be saving opening any of those for a while. I'm going to save up for the next featured, I think. That may change if by some reason I get lucky on any type of Paragon opening that I do for Morbius. And if I pull a Werewolf by Night, either a 6 or a 7-star, I'll probably skip going the features again and save them for 7-star shards. That's what I did this past one. I've been only opening the 7-star crystals that I get from the the Sigil store. So, probably we'll do the same thing going forward. That's what I did this past one. I've been only opening the 7-star crystals that I get from. Just can't really justify the extra expense on them when I'm after more 7-star champions than I am 6-star. Just can't really justify
the extra expense on them when I'm after more 7-star champions than I am 6-star.
I will say though, I'm getting tired of that. You know, I swear there's a lot of times that I parry and it's counting them now as a block, and I'll let go and then get comboed in the face. It's happened. Did that happen to me in War? I think it did. I think on that Mojo fight against Noon, I was able to recover, but I believe that's kind of what happened to me there. I thought I had gotten a parry in at one point and kind of messed up, but I was messing up the timing left and right on there, so I didn't really call it out or say anything. But, you know, I think that was part of the issue in that war, was that I thought I had a parry and I didn't at one point, and then ate part of a combo.
Left and right on there, so I didn't really call it out or say anything. But, you know, I think that was part of the issue in that war, was that I thought I had a parry and I didn't at one point, and ate part of a combo.
So, you know, other than that, you know, the war season's gone great for me. I am going to go out and check to see. I'll do it right now where we are ranked. Hey, Alliance Quest is coming back tomorrow, folks. I know you're all excited.
You know, other than that, you know, the war season's gone great for me. I am going to go out.
Yeah, tail end of that Masters leaderboard. You know, typically with the record that we've got, you know, and you can see Noon is in the same spot. JA. It is just kind of a situation where there's some alliances up here that, you know, and you're seeing some of the normal ones up there too, but there's a couple that just not really sure where they've come from. You know, top 3 should be, you know, pretty normal as well. So I'm pleased. You know, if we can finish there in Masters, I think 3 more wars, 2-1, we're in good shape for Masters finish. Like to go 3-0. It'd be a good way to end the season.
Pretty normal as well. So I'm pleased. You know, if we can finish there in Masters, I think 3 more wars.
And also, I'm gonna jinx myself. I'd also like to not die.
Like to go 3-0.
So far,
Be a good way to end the season.
doing fairly well. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's been one of my better seasons. Shout out to the planners. I give them the credit for it. Not me. They're putting me in good position, giving me good fights,
So far,
and that's all I can ask for.
doing fairly well. That's all I'm going to say.
Tried to screw a couple of them up, you know,
Shout out to the planners.
but fortunately, the champs they've given me to fight with that I've tried to screw it up on, one was OG Iron Man and one was Cassie, and they're both can take hits, you know. So, you know, the OG Iron Man one though, that was probably my closest one. I took on Kitty. She hit me twice and took 50% of my health.
One was OG Iron Man and one was Cassie.
See, there was another one I thought was a parry.
That was probably my closest one.
So yeah, that one scared me a lot. If she had gone for a full 5-hit combo, I think I was dead. Fortunately, she just hit me twice and then backed off. But you know, it would have been close. You know, Iron Man does get that big heal at the end. You know, when he gets down below 15%. So, hey Vega, how's it going, man? You one of the ones heading to Vancouver this coming weekend?
Iron Man does get that big heal at the end. You know, when he gets down below 15%. So, hey Vega, how's it going, man?
And I'm telling somebody I saw a couple pictures of you from this past weekend.
To, Vancouver this coming weekend. And I'm telling somebody I saw a couple pictures of you from this past weekend.
Oh, I forgot what her special one looked like. But, you know, so, you know, war's been going well. I'm looking forward to Battlegrounds. I'm going to use it, you know, I'm going to use this Battleground season unlike others that I've done in the past. Yeah, he B shared pictures of. He just shared a couple, for reasons, but he shared ones of the kind of the Four Loki crew that was there. I expect to see some good ones from this coming weekend. I'd love to be there. Unfortunately, work called me away from the flight and the hotel that I had booked for it. So, unfortunately, I will not be there, but I will be there in heart and cheering on Andy and Legacy and Mike and everybody else that's there.
The flight and the hotel that I had booked for it. So, unfortunately, I will not be there, but I will be there in heart and cheering on.
I'll have to catch the next one that they do, and I hope they do more. Even if, especially if they do it in Vancouver. I haven't been to Vancouver yet. Really want to go. That's awesome. It's to me. All the meetups that they've had haven't been anywhere that I could reach. I couldn't make, New York Comic Con, the years that everybody's getting together there. I wasn't in one of the bigger alliances at that point, so it would have just been me going to, kind of fanboy. Through some of it, but now I'm in more of a position where I could go. So different job, better job, more flexibility. So I'm looking forward to some meetups and getting to meet some more folks face to face.
Through some of it, but
And the best part about it is, I told the Four Loki guys, if I was going, you've got a designated driver because I don't drink. So, you could do whatever you wanted, and I'd make sure you guys got back safe.
And the best part about it is, I told the Loki guys, if I was going.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed too. I wish it was would work out. Unfortunately, the project that I got brought in onto to kind of bring it back onto timelines kicks off on Saturday evening. And then Sunday morning, we start the installations. And there's so many eyes on this in our company. It's a big initiative for this upcoming year. This is the first beta wave. I couldn't really back out of it. So, and they pay my salary, so I'm not going to argue. I get a free weekend in Lake Tahoe when I'm done with all of it, so that won't be too bad either.
So. And they pay my salary, so I'm not going to argue.
But like I said, I'll be there in spirit. I'll be thinking of you guys. It's going to be a good. I'm sure it's going to be a good time for all. I would seriously doubt if anybody came away from there and said that they did not have a good time. I think just get the feeling Kabam's going to pull out a lot of the stops. To make sure that it is a good event for everybody. Make sure there's a lot of good PR. A lot of good feelings coming out of it. Really interested in seeing how they do the tournament and how, that works out. How they, kind of throw open the doors to their headquarters there in Vancouver and what behind the scenes stuff that they do. The other thing I don't know, I haven't heard much on that I did catch on the Marvel, I think it was on the Marvel live stream, where they brought Kabam up and they announced Cheelith, or Cheelth, I guess is what it is. They said that they were going to have some announcements there of stuff that no one has heard of before. That they were going to have some big announcements, some gameplay announcements. So I'm really kind of curious to know what those are going to be. I know they're going to do it Friday night for those that are there live, and then they're going to repeat some of it on Saturday. So I am really, really curious. I don't know, they had hinted in the past of some other alliance modes, kind of like a boss fight type thing. I'm hoping that they throw open the curtain on the new AQ and say, hey, we're live. We're going, to 4-day AQ and all the announcements that they made there. I think that would be a good touch, because the other thing, the Alliance Quest is going to be going on while people are there, which is, isn't bad, but I don't think that's going to be the first thing on a lot of people's minds. I'm pretty sure all the Four Loki people And I know the ones that are going aren't typically the ones that are in grinding through AQ real quick either. So there's going to be a lot of energy refills bought, I think, while people are there, because they're just going to want to go in and get it done real quick and be through with it. So it would be nice to, really kind of curious on what those announcements are. I know in the comment for that chat when they said that, somebody put in there, bases are finally coming. So that would be hilarious if they released bases. That would be hilarious. But I would love to see some quality of life changes with a mastery preset, if not for everything, at least for war. That would be a big win in my book. I think that would be an awesome announcement. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I would gladly pay to unlock presets. Tell me it's 1,000 units to unlock the first preset and you'll have it in about half a second. Even if it's 3,000 units, be glad to pay it. I would go up to, for one preset, I think, I say I'll be glad to pay it, but for one preset, I would probably do, so that you could swap back and forth, a standard build or a recoil build, which is really all that I'm looking for. I would go up maybe as high as 5,000 units to pay to unlock that. You want to give me so that I could do 3, and swap in between 3 real quick. I would go 10,000 units. Be glad to. It would save me. It saves so much time and effort in the background trying to do it. Want to be able to do that, and I want to be able to support Kabam and when they do things like that. That to me is a good use of my money in the game. Paragon crystals not so much, but I think we still open them and we still do stuff and still spend the money on the RNG portions of the game. Me, not as much as others. I watch my Alliance feed, and there are some genuine whales in that Alliance feed, and it is crazy to see the number of Paragon crystals they've opened. I mean, just absolutely insane. I am sure the folks at Kabam love them to death. They pay the salary for quite a few employees, I am sure. I feel like I support them well, but I don't, not nearly that much. I offset that with arena grinding. The other thing I'm hoping for coming up is Cyber Weekend. I'm hoping that they don't do another $1,000 type deal. I'm sure they will, and I'm sure I'll spend a good portion of it. I did the last time, on 4th of July or the summer deal or whatever they're going to call it now. I have a feeling it'll be just a holiday deal. I want the rank up materials more than I want the crystals at this point. To me, being able to rank up what I've got is more important now than being able to pull things. I do want to awaken a bunch of champs, and I do want high sig on them, but I'm willing to take the slow game there and wait for maybe some 7-star signature stones, which I expect to see, honestly, with not high quality, but I expect to see some of those from Cyber Weekend. I'm thinking maybe in the Odin deal you'll get 20. And if not there, definitely in the unit deal at the upper end, there'll be some 7-star sig stones that'll hit the market. They've got to. It's about that time. And the way they're trying to progress the use of 7 stars and all that, I think Cyber Weekend is really the time that you'll see it. Could be wrong, but that's just kind of my guess. I just have the feeling, that they're going to have to up the game a little bit over what was put out on the summer deals. They did get a lot of negative feedback on those as well, that they broke the game. So they're either going to have to continue breaking the game or they're going to have to pull it way back. And my guess is they made a lot of money breaking the game, so that they're going to continue kind of down that road. Just complete speculation, no idea, but I just have that feeling that's going to be the way that they go. And it'll be interesting. I don't know exactly what I'll do. I'll spend, I just don't know how much. But in case you weren't here earlier, the other thing I'm looking at, hopefully that I have by then, is if by some miracle I can get 500 subscribers onto the channel by then. I'm planning on doing a giveaway, probably for like a $50 or $100 iTunes, Google Play gift card. I don't know exactly what the rules will be. I don't know how I'll do it, but that's going to be kind of a thank you. It'll probably be, if I can figure out if there's a way in YouTube to get a list of all the subscribers. I can only get a partial right now because in YouTube there is a setting that you can allow people to see if you're subscribed or not. And if you've got that turned off, I can't see. So, I don't know if there's a way with subscribers. I know when you've got people that join the channel and do the $5 a month kind of deal on the channel, you can see that. But I don't know if there's a way to see actually who all has subscribed, because that would be how I would do it. As a thank you, $50 to one of the subscribers would be kind of the way that I'd want to do it, at least. But I think as far as for this stream goes, like I said, it was going to be a fairly quick one, only an hour. I will be back later tonight, probably around 7 o'clock-ish Eastern time, to finish off the Incursions run I've got started. I did the first 13 rooms off stream, got a very good build. Typically when I run Incursions, I will do that. I will get the room 12 or so, and then determine whether I want to continue or not, depending on the build. The reason I ran room 13 was it had I think that was a clairvoyant boss, and I was afraid of how many deaths that she was going to pull from me, just because I wasn't going to be able to go invulnerable. But I was able to get through it, fortunately, without dying, without really being hit. So I think we're in good shape. It's going to be interesting if I get some. I did bring in, the team right now is of course Hercules. He's going to get the mainstay of it, and then Heimdall, of course, and then I do have on the team right now Lady Deathstrike. Since most of the bosses are going to be mutants, I just kind of figured she is for the most part bleed and poison immune. She's going to heal up from them. Plus she can do the heal block. So if I get into a nasty node with a lot of healing options on it, I can just throw her in there and she can heal block through it. May not be the fastest in the world, but with the hacks that I've got, she's still going to do good damage. I can throw a couple specials and she's hitting specials for, 100K each hit. So, but other than that, I do want to thank those of you that joined in. I do want to, it's funny, I'm saying thank you a lot now, and I'm thinking of Brian's video from last night that he put out there that it, starts sounding routine and, commonplace, but I do want to thank everybody that's watched, all of you that jumped into the chat and kind of chatted with me. I will be back later on for a little bit of a longer stream. We'll probably finish off the Incursion run. We'll probably finish up my arenas for the night and take it that way. And then other than that, we'll see where it goes, and we'll talk to you guys later on. Thanks again, and have a great afternoon. We'll probably finish off the Incursion run. We'll probably finish up my arenas for the night and take it that way. And then other than that, we'll see where it goes, and we'll talk to you guys later on. Thanks again, and have a great afternoon.